Hello, welcome to Build Series. I'm Lee Blickley from HuffPost, and today I'll be joined by Derek Hough, the Emmy-winning dancer and choreographer who is set to return as a panelist on the third season of NBC's World of Dance. Alongside Jennifer Lopez and Neo, Hough judges, guides, and mentors an array of talented dancers as they compete for the title of Best of the Best. He's here to talk about the competition series as well as his upcoming tour, but let's roll a clip first. Everyone, let's give it up for Derek Hough.
Hello, hello, hello. Man, I want to go dance. I want to go dance. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I need to go rehearse.
Amazing.
Yeah,
how does it feel when you're in front of all those people? Does it just kind of make you realize how special it is to have a career like that?
I am so thankful and so grateful, and I'll never take it for granted. The joy that I get to be able to perform and to share and do what I love and to be able to perform in front of an amazing audience is awesome. It's incredible, and I love touring so much. I love meeting people, hugging them, interacting with them, taking photos. It's why I go on tour. I love it.
Yeah, let's start with the tour. Yeah. Because usually you're out on tour with your sister, Julianne.
I am, leaving her home. Yeah. Leaving her home. No, so this is my first solo tour, but I'm really excited about it because for the first time ever, I'm taking out a live band. There's gonna be live musicians on stage infused with the live dancing, and the cast that I've assembled for this tour is extraordinary. The dancers are just amazing, and some of which actually were on past seasons of World of Dance.
Way to find them.
I know, right? I'm like, you are dope. Come with me. And so it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a really, really great show. And working a lot on the music. So even if you would just come and just listen to the music and the band, you would enjoy it. But then plus, there's going to be just world-class dancing on that stage. So I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, so what's
60 cities.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you started planning this before summer, right? Around June. So how has the planning been going? Is it difficult to kind of bring both dance and music to the show?
It's funny, actually. I told Jennifer Lopez, I was sitting next to her, and I was like, I'm working on the tour, and it's a lot of work because I'm having a live band. And she goes, oh, that's not more work for you, honey. I'm like, yeah, it is, babe. Because I'm in the recording studio, or doing the arrangements with the musicians and working on it and choreographing essentially the music specifically to what I want to do. So it's gonna be a lot more theatrical, I'll say, than the past tours I've done before. So I'm very, very excited about it. It's gonna be great. Live saxophone, live drums. Are
you gonna be singing? Because we know you sing as well.
Yeah, no, I will be singing. And actually, it's funny. One of the songs I'm doing is a Michael Bublé song from his new album, and I saw, actually I texted him. I said, hey Michael, I'm just curious, I'm doing one of your songs on my tour. Is it possible? Could I get your stems, the original recordings of your session, so my musicians can play to it to make it so it sounds big and sounds beautiful? Thinking there's no way. Literally 5 seconds, I'm not even kidding you, 5 seconds later, the bubbles came straight away. He's like, anything, Derek, whatever you need, man, I'll send it right over. And I'm like, thank you, Michael Bublé.
What?
I love you.
Derek's name dropping too, he just tossed out Jennifer Lopez, he's tossed out Michael Bublé.
No, just dropping. But no, by the way, I directed a music video for him a couple years ago, and ever since he's just been so kind and so gracious, so it's been really great. Lindsey Sterling's playing violin on a lot of the songs. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, this sounds like an immersive experience, much different than, Move Live is always so much fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to be out in the crowd, though, still teaching?
I can't help myself. I got these little dancing legs that just can't keep on the stage. I got to move into the audience, bring people up on stage. Yeah, and then as far as singing some of the songs as well, I did a cover of A Star Is Born, and did a mashup with that, and I'll be doing that live. So those moments I kind of treat as my breath. So the most I catch my breath while I'm singing, and while the dancers are doing a beautiful dancing. And then I'll finish, I'll put the guitar, put something down, and I'll get back out there and I'll start dancing my butt off. So
That doesn't sound like catching your breath. That just sounds like a lot of work.
it's a lot, but it's exciting. You know, I'm used to that too. I did like, you know, West End in London, and when I did Radio Music City Hall here in New York, 13 shows a week. So I'm used to the singing and the dancing nonstop. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. How do you know when you're ready to go back out on tour? Because it does seem like it's a lot of work, and you have to be in the right mindset to commit to something like that, especially 60 cities, you were saying.
Well, you know, it's about the mindset of it is remembering why. That's really it. Remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's because I love performing. I love the relationship between the live audience and seeing their faces and feeling their energy and meeting them at the meet and greets and hugging them and that whole thing. Like I love that interaction. And as long as I remember that why, I'll have a huge reserve of energy. But physically, I got to get into shape. Like, you know, eat the right things. I eat the same thing each day. The same routine, the same rituals, you know, stretching out, warming up, you know, the amount of water intake. I mean, there's a whole sort of regiment.
What are you
camp.
eating every day? Just like grilled chicken and vegetables?
Pretty much. Yeah, honestly, the grilled chicken, quinoa, like just really clean stuff. And it's the same every day because I don't want any surprises on stage. Basically, you know, I got to keep it organized. You know, yeah.
You do work out a lot, though. I've seen on Instagram, too, you post that you, like, jump into a freezing cold pool after you work out.
Very important.
Why?
Why? No, man. Inflammation, circulation, recovery, ice baths after a show are crucial to hitting the stage every single night, especially if I'm doing 60 cities and dancing for 2 hours straight. So,
do you change up your workouts, or is that something that you like to keep the same too?
No, I'll change them up, I think, but the dancing itself is a workout in itself. I mean, when I start rehearsing and with the dancers, it's going to be pretty much just that. But again, like I have some amazing dancers. Charity Anderson from World of Dance Season 2, she was in the finals with her partner, Andreas. They got the first perfect score in World of Dance history. She's a amazing dancer. Daniela, she actually is a current champion in the Latin world. Amazing. Actually, I'm going to be rehearsing with her after this. Oh, wow. And she's like dancing with a Ferrari. That's how I'm like, I was like dancing, you know, you're dancing with people. And then like, I started dancing with her and I'm like, you just kind of move her and she's just, boom. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's she's at the peak of her you know, quality of dancing. It's amazing.
That must be exciting for you, though, to be a part of this show and be able to kind of discover, in a way, new talent that's been out there, but that hasn't had like the worldwide recognition that maybe you've seen. What's it like to be a part of World of Dance, especially now going into season 3? It's clearly resonating with audiences.
It is. You know, it feels like yesterday I had the conversation with Jennifer, and she's like, Derek, there's a show. I would love for you to be a part of it. You know, it's like the Olympics of dance. It's this and that. And she was like kind of pitching me the idea. And I'm like, that sounds exciting. That sounds really, really great. And I'm blinked, and here we are, season 3. I'm like, what the heck? Where did the time go? But I honestly will say season 3, just when I think about it, it just feels vibrant. It feels colorful. It feels energetic. It just, man, it's just, it's really exciting. And we have some really cool new format changes. The first of which, in the qualifying round, you need an 85 or above to make it through. Whereas before, it was just an 80 or above. And you might think that 5 points isn't a big difference, but that's a huge difference in this sort of like small margin of error, you know. And then my favorite format change is a thing called the redemption round. And I love this round so much because we've lost some great dancers in the past too early. And I begged the producers, like, can we figure something out so we can like save somebody or bring somebody back or something? So what we've done is that in the duels, you know, you have 2 acts going against each other, and then 1 act has to go home. Right? Yep. But if you get 2 acts that are like really good, you're like, oh, I don't want either of them to go. But, you know, 1 loses. But if they're high scoring, the 2 highest scoring acts that get knocked out will come back at the end and compete and go head to head in like the same song and just a straight up dance battle. Wow. And it makes for the most cinematic, most dramatic moments we've ever had on World of Dance. And I'll just go ahead and say, like, there was one time where we went on there, and I was like, oh, this poor girl, she's going to get annihilated. Like, I was like, oh, this doesn't look good for her, you know. And something happened. It's like, we're like, what the heck? It's just this do or die just like hunger came out, and she was doing things, and she was attacking that floor. She's moving across it. She was just fighting, dancing for her life, and blew the whole room. It was incredible.
Now
It
we'll
was
have
amazing.
to wait to see if she wins that duel.
Maybe.
Well, because usually
well,
the
I
duels
feel like I
too-
just gave it away, but yeah.
Usually the duels are, in the same age category. So you have different categories right? You have the troops, then you have the younger group. So aren't the duels usually, the young against the young? So would this make the duels be of different, can a troop dance against a 10-year-old?
Oh no, it happens. It happens, and you'll have like a group, like a hip hop crew against a ballerina or something. And you're like, "Oh man, how's this going to weigh out?" And you'll be surprised. You'll be really surprised about how some of these people that you might, think might not have a chance, pull ahead. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, what's your judging style? Do you judge based on how you feel?
Physical.
Or are you looking at,
I can't stand still when I'm judging. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even when I watch myself, I'm like, bro, sit down. Like, chill. But I can't help it. When I'm in that room, and it's so electric. The energy. Sometimes when you do a show, and you go see it live, you're like, oh, it doesn't feel as exciting as it does on TV, This show, I tell people that, I'm like, come see a live taping, because the energy in that room is insane. It's so loud, it's so energetic, and so when you see me get, like, amped up, it doesn't seem like a lot, like, in the context in the room. Maybe when you're sitting at home, you're like, dude, get off the judge's desk, man, jump. But I'm a dancer, so I feel things physically first. It comes through my body, and then eventually it reaches my mouth to articulate sometimes. Or I just make weird noises. I go, yeah.
But it has to be when you're there. I mean, are you looking, say a troop's up there and a whole group is dancing, are you looking at how they're synchronized, or is it all based on like a feeling you get when you're watching?
No, that's the thing. What's great. You go off initially like your reaction, like, oh, I like this, or this made me feel a certain way, I enjoy this. But what's great about our show, which I love, is that we have a scoring system. And so when you go back to the pads, you have these categories. And so I might be like, oh, I love that routine, but I might go back to the scoring pad, and I go, actually, now that I think about it, the technique wasn't quite there. So actually, I'll not dock a point there. The crowd appeal, like huge on this. Choreography could have been a little more creative, wasn't as innovative as I would have hoped, so knocked that. Then all of a sudden, this like, sort of like true score kind of reveals itself. So yeah, that's why sometimes, at least for me, you might see me go like, I loved it, it was incredible. And then actually the score wasn't that high, because sometimes it changes as I start to go through the checklist about what I just saw, not just off my emotion. So that way it feels a little bit more like an even playing field, which is great.
Yeah, and then each, Jennifer's different, Neo's different, you all kind of judge a little differently. But what has it been like working? I'm staring at them. How could you not stare at Jennifer Lopez? I mean, what has it been like working with them and seeing, getting to know their styles and what you each bring to the table?
I mean, it's great. With Jennifer, it's funny. We actually got into a little thing this past season where, also, this season there's a lot more candid moments between all of us, where like backstage or in the dressing room or off camera, and, we're a lot more comfortable with each other. So Jennifer, this past season, I make a lot of corny jokes. I don't know why. Like a lot of dad jokes. I'm not a dad. But she said that. She's like, well, why aren't you a dad? And she's like, you're going to be a good dad one day. And I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. Why aren't you a dad? I'm like, why aren't you married? I'm like, And you try to pull away from her gaze, but she has like this tractor beam gaze. I'm like, I got to answer this.
I'll get married right now.
But it's funny. And she's like trying to give me advice. And I'm like, hey, listen. All right. Everything's good. Anyways, I was gonna say something about it. But it's awesome, man. It really is. Like she's a blast to work with. Neo's awesome. It's just a joy. It's a great guy, by the way. Both great parents too. On set, seeing them FaceTime with their kids, seeing them interact with their family is just like, it's heartwarming. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, because you guys pre-tape the show, right? How long does that take, the initial shoot, before it?
Couple months. Yeah. We're it's a full couple, like 3 months I think it takes.
Is it like are you there like every day? Or?
Not every day. It's like, I want to say like twice a week because we got to give time for the competitors to choreograph and learn routines. Sometimes it's a quick turnaround, but yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool. And there's some fun things. I tell you what, towards the end, I will say hands down, this is the best finale we've ever had, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
There's been some good. I mean, have you guys watched Les Twins? And I mean, those two were dynamite. That was season 1.
Get ready. I'm telling you right now, get ready.
Do we see any acts return for season 3?
Yeah, we do, actually. We do. But it's cool because they come in different ways. You know, we have some acts that were like duos last season, and then they like come back and they've recruited like 10 dancers. Now they're like a company. And not only that, but they're training for the show. They're choreographing. They have 6 routines under their belt that they've like rehearsed, trained for. You know, they're on special diets. They're like working out more. Like it's a whole. It's like the Olympics. They're like training for this show, and you can see that. You can see those acts. You're like, oh, these guys are ready.
Plus, there's $1 million on the line, right?
I know, right? It's crazy. But that's what I love about the show too. You're able to come back, just like any other competition in the world. You know, if you lose the U.S. Open or something like that, you're not like, okay, that's it. That's the only chance. You go back and you reassess. You work harder. You look at where you made a mistake. Look at where you can improve upon, and you come back. And I love that. And we saw that with the Lab. You know, season 2. They lost in season 1, and they came back and won the whole thing in season 2. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, is it harder for you to judge the returning acts, though? Because you kind of know them, and you've gotten to, know them personally and their dance styles. So it must be hard to be a little more critical of them, maybe, if they're not up to par with the new contestants.
It's hard. We're more critical, I think. Yeah, because we're kind of like, well, we've seen that. So what else do you have, in your sort of your bag of tricks, I guess you could say. But also too, good is good, and that will sort of reveal itself, and that will come through. I'm not gonna lie, there was a few things that happened this season, or in past seasons, where I was like really bummed out about some of the results. I'm like, dang it, but I will say as well that I'm constantly on the lookout and constantly scouting for new talent, and I'm already like, there's about 4 people already where I'm like, you have to do season 4 because you're a phenom and you're gonna blow everybody away. So I'm already like looking out for season 4. I'm excited.
Season 4 is coming.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Well, it's exciting because usually it's on in the summer. We're getting a little earlier this year.
That's right. Prime time, baby.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Does that make you, people still watch television in the summer, but this is pretty much prime. Are you excited to maybe get some new viewers who haven't seen World of Dance?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I love about dancing and about this evolution or revolution of dance this past decade is a show like this probably wouldn't have worked 10 years ago. But I think that because of dance shows, and the sort of the knowledge and the education of dance, through television, and appreciation and understanding of like what it is to be this artistic athlete, and this storytelling and this connection that even if you're not a dancer, you somehow feel like, oh, I'm inspired by this, or I'm connected to this somehow. I love that, and I love to see that. Like, when I see like little boys now, talk about dance, I was bullied for being a dancer when I grew up. It was not cool. It was like I was tortured at school, honestly, for it. And now when I see like these young kids who are like, I'm a dancer and I'm the most popular kid in school, it warms my heart more than you could ever know, because it's thriving, and the world of dance is helping it thrive even more and showing you the absolute best dance in the world.
Yeah, to be, that kid maybe who was bullied, and then to get on a show like Dancing with the Stars where you could really show off your talent and show everyone, this is what I've been working on and I'm freaking talented. Did that mean a lot to you in those formative years when you were
Honestly, I was just trying to figure out how to teach and choreograph. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I lied, and I don't actually know how to choreograph. I don't know how to teach. I totally lied to them. But I faked it until I became it, essentially. And then eventually I was like, oh, wait, I do know what I'm talking about. Oh, I should trust my instincts more. But like I said before, it's an absolute privilege and honor to do what I love, and to be able to have the opportunity to share it, on tour or on television, and now to encourage and to help and to inspire a new generation of dancers who are just phenomenal. And to take some of them on the road with me, to let them experience their first tour, and to experience what it feels like to dance in front of thousands of people. It's awesome. it's a blessing for sure.
Because I remember speaking to Jenna Dewan, who I guess she's not a host anymore.
I know she's back though as a mentor. Yeah.
But she was saying how tight knit that dance community is, and how you really want to help everybody succeed, because you know what it's like when you're a dancer and you're starting out. Is that important to you, to bring these people on tour and give them opportunities and let them know that this is what you can do once you're on the show?
Well, that's what's great. You know, dancers now are stars, you know, in their own right, and especially with social media. I mean, social media, there's so many amazing dancers out there that are now discovered just because you're scrolling on your phone. That's honestly how I found some people. I'm like, whoa, who is this person? Holy cow. Let's look them up. Let's contact them. So that's an amazing thing to utilize. But again, dancing, the work ethic, the workload that has to go into it to become a true master at dancing, it's so many hours, so many sleepless nights, so much blood, sweat, tears, broken bones, pulled muscles. And the reward has always been very, very small, if any. And that's what I love about these shows, and World of Dance especially, where it's putting their money where their mouth is and saying, we're gonna reward you guys for all that passion, all that hard work that you put into it, and you deserve it.
That's great. We are going to take our first question from Twitter.
Yes.
So let's see what it is. Here we go, right here. #Build Series question for Derek Hough. Derek, I know you've directed quite a few beautiful videos. Just wondering, do you see yourself directing a feature film in the future?
Yeah, I do actually. I think it would have to be something I'm really, really passionate about, because the amount of work that I've seen goes into, you know, directing an entire feature film or a full-length film is a lot. It's a lot. You know, it's like a couple of years dedication. So yeah, I definitely foresee that. I like the things I'm doing at the moment now, because they're sort of, you know, passion projects, and they're gonna be short. And I'm kind of like, maybe it's because I have I like so many different styles of dancing, so many different styles of music. I like kind of moving around a little bit to different things. But yeah, it's definitely.
But it is nice that the movie musical has made its way back.
Yes,
Hollywood.
It has.
We had La La Land a few years ago, but A Star Is Born. I mean,
It's great.
I can't wait to hear you sing
Is
Shallow.
that movie musical? Maybe no.
It's like
that one.
musical drama.
That was amazing. That movie crushed me. It was beautiful, beautiful.
All right, we're going to take some questions from the audience.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
My name is Gina, and my question is, would you ever consider opening up your own dance studio?
I've considered it a few times. Maybe sometime in the future. It's just more of like a timing thing, I suppose. But perhaps, yeah, maybe. You're gonna come do it though if I do, right?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet.
Of course.
You'd have to open it in
Good.
New York, but you're out in LA.
Where else?
Who's next?
Yeah.
If you were to come back to Dancing with the Stars, who would be your dream partner?
Dream partner. I think I might have said this before, but Celine Dion.
Oh, she'd be fun.
I saw her recently, and she's got so much energy, and she loves dancing. After her shows in Vegas, I hear that she actually goes and does dance class, like after a show, and she's doing like whole things. And funny story about her actually is that my first year of Dancing with the Stars, she performed on the show, and it's my first season. So I'm like this young kid, like, and I passed her, and she's like, Derek Hough. And I'm like, Celine Dion. And I'm holding my dance shoes, and she's like, how you doing, Derek? And I'm like, oh, she knows my name. And I'm holding dance shoes. I'm holding my dance shoes. That's what I said. It's like a full-on holding a watermelon moment, you know? I'm holding one. And she's like, Derek is holding his dance shoes. He's holding them right there. And I was like, yeah. And she like scurried away, and I'm like, what just happened? Is that normal, like, for LA?
Catch that on tape?
Seriously. And then eventually I met her recently, but she would be great. She'd be fun. And also my girlfriend is obsessed with her, so I would be the man.
Hey, when's Haley going to get her shot at being a pro on that show? I'm waiting.
I know,
right?
right?
We love
Yes,
Haley.
Haley Arbor. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, because we saw Jenna Johnson, because there's the troupe. She got her
Sure.
chance. I think Haley's is soon. I
Yeah.
can't wait. We got one more question.
How you doing, Derek? My name is Jamal. Huge fan of the show. I've watched both seasons. And two-part question. The first is in regards to how is the show actually filmed? Because especially for the qualifiers, for example, it seems like there are a ton of performances, but of course you break it up between like 5 or 6 shows. Is that a one-day, like 8-hour thing, or?
No. We go a couple days, several days actually, because we see a bunch. Actually, this year though, there's less acts going through. It's more difficult. But I, by the way, to add to that, probably what you said, I know one thing that might give that reason is because we wear the same clothes at sometimes. You're like, are they in the same outfit?
You have to keep the continuity, yeah.
Get out of that thing. But it's a problem when my dad says something. So you guys have been wearing the same clothes for like a month. Like, what's going on with that? Like,
just to follow up with that. So now that you did break that down, I did notice that there seems to be an interesting scoring curve from episode to episode, where the best performance on that one night is nowhere near as strong as the next episode, but yet it got such a higher score. Do you guys approach each episode differently in terms of how you guys are scoring, or is it just you guys are really trying to focus on those parameters? Because it does seem like there's an interesting...
It's a great question. And actually, it's interesting because in the moment, we try to focus on just in the moment. But it's funny you mentioned that because, we scored this act that made it through. They're going to the next round, but they were disappointed. And I actually went back and talked to them. I was like, what's wrong, guys? Why are you guys? It's like, well, we didn't get this. We got a lower score than we did last week, but we feel like our performance was way better this week. And it's interesting because they might feel that way, they might think that, but in the moment, it's sort of it's in context, and everybody else that night and with the energy and what's going on. It happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, But we're not necessarily told okay, they got a 90, so now and then we're like, well, let's give them something higher. We don't do that dialogue. We're just watching what we're seeing and scoring accordingly. And also too, I will say this, because even when I watch the show, sometimes I'll see a performance and I'm like, whoa, that translated so well on TV. Mm-hmm. But in the room, it didn't feel like that at all. It felt flat. But on TV, I'm like, wow, that was awesome. Or vice versa. Or, I'm just going to throw it out there, but quite honestly, Swing Latino, season 1. Mm-hmm. In the room blew my mind. It was extraordinary, and it really was. And they are. I'm not taking anything away from them. But when I watched on television, it looked a little messier than in the room, because in the room I'm watching like this as a whole, but then on TV they're cutting to close-ups, and this person might not be as sharp as this person or something. So it's interesting. You really want to try to get that's why sometimes when you watch TV, you're like, wait, how did they give them that? That was amazing, or that wasn't. Sometimes it just translates different in the room than it does on television. So that's where I would kind of give some leeway in that regards. Because trust me, even I've been like, Neo, what you doing? Hey.
Well, I can't wait to see the Pool of Talent. I'm sure these people can't wait either.
Yeah, it's good.
It airs tomorrow night, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on NBC. Thank you so much for being here,
Thank you,
Derek.
guys.
We love
Thank
having
you
you here. Thank you, guys.